My presentation consists of two parts. In the first part, I'll be talking about the growth trend in Istanbul and how this growth, putting a lot of pressures on the city, is managed through different means, be it plan, be it policy making, etc. And in the second part, I will be showing you some slide and information about how the especially cultural heritage zone of Istanbul, which is also under pressure of growth, is being treated as an important heritage area to be managed according to standards of UNESCO. The growth trend in Istanbul can be categorized, can be evaluated critically in three main areas. One is on the periphery. I mean, the impact of the growth on the city can be observed in the periphery first, and the second area to be tackled with about the impact of the growth is the central part of the city, in which there are two issues to be discussed. One is the business and residential developments, which are also putting a lot of threat to the growth and proper planning standards. And the second one is as Istanbul as having a lot of cultural heritage zones, especially the historical peninsula area, is the area to be really in the agenda of the city these days, to how to manage all this cultural heritage it contains. As you know, Istanbul has always been the center of the attention in history because of its strategic location in the east and west, not only in special terms, but also social, economical, and environmental terms. It was always center of attention of the Middle East, and having a lot of power to lead different activities in the region. So this scheme shows its relationship with the Europe, Asia, and Africa, emphasizing its critical role in its vicinity. If we look at the general characteristic of the city, this tells us a lot of story, this picture, that the city grows in the southern part in the east and west direction, and mostly in the south, because throughout the planning history of the city, formal planning history of the city, also its spontaneous development, this idea of maintaining the growth in the southern part was rationalized by the natural assets that has in the northern part of the city, which is forest, water catchment areas, are the ones that really thankfully affected the growth of the city toward the north, or prevented the growth of the city toward the north. When we look at the city in a closer perspective, there are three distinct elements that really gives its characteristic in terms of not only urbanistic characteristic, but also the as a heritage that are to be managed and integrated. Those are the Bosphorus, historical peninsula, and the Galata districts are the ones that really, throughout the history, affected the growth pattern of the city. This is another view of these three elements, Bosphorus, Galata, and historical peninsula, that always were major dominant elements that affected the decision-making process of the city. And in this scheme, it gives you a clear idea that how the macro form throughout the history the city had, and also how it has to be maintained according to certain indicators like forest area on the north, and the water on the south, and the Bosphorus, and the element between especially the transportation axis in the middle, were the macro elements that really affected the plan-making process of the city. When we look at make a closer look at to the planning history of Istanbul, not going too far, but starting, for instance, in 1981, the plan made in 1980, the plan is made in 1995, and the last one completed in 2009. Those three plans, as you can see here, in each plan, if you look at the content of the plan, there were some conjectural issues that really affected the growth pattern of the city. In the 80s, the main issues was the allocation of the certain function in the space without having any deep theoretical and theoretical issues that really affect the future of the city. That was just simply simple-minded land use plan-making process that really didn't give any energy to the city's growth, or didn't have any power controlling the growth of the city. In 1995 plan, there came this concept of sustainability as a general theoretical framework through which the city has to manage, has to be managed. And from that period until 2009, the city finally realized that the sustainability is a general conceptual frame through which the city's growth has to be managed and to be controlled, but yet needs more theoretical issues, which is, for instance, today, and still in 2009 plan, although there is this general framework of concept, but yet there is a lack of theories that really, again, affect the growth pattern according to current urbanistic and urban design normal standards. One of the dominant concepts these days is the smart growth. Talking about during the planning process about the sustainability is not enough. We have to fill in the certain operational concept in order to manage the growth properly and locally. So the smart growth is now in the agenda of in many cities in the world. That is a very strong theoretical tool that really is useful in using not only metropolitan planning level, but also in local levels, coming to the urban design levels. So Istanbul needs to focus its attention to smart growth in order to manage this uncontrolled growth in the periphery, in the center. Existing population in Istanbul is 12 million. According to this plan made by IMP, I think you saw some slide of them yesterday, that by 2023, if this trend continues like this, the population is going to be 22 million, but this is passing, carrying capacity of the city especially. So the strategy is to maintain, if possible, 16 million by 2023 in order to be sustainable, in order to achieve this smart growth properly in the city. The plan, as a tool managing the growth of the city, has certain policy and strategies which are summarized here. The main objective of the plan is to achieve a sustainable growth, preserving natural assets, and improving the living standards of the 12 million population in the city. To achieve this, these are the policies that are focused on and still worked on: sustainable development, economical structural change of the city, consolidating industry, decentralization of the centers, and focusing on the harbor and logistic facilities, which has been ignored long time in the city. So these are industries to be decentralized. In other words, the current master plan proposes this decentralization strategy of industry and commercial activities on the east and west side of the city in order to create new center of attraction, and also to relieve the pressure coming from this population growth and the activities, economical, social activities, which are concentrated within the city, historical part of the city. So this is main strategy of the city. So these are the area to be decentralized and the new subcenters to be targeted. One of the strategy of the city to manage the growth in terms of population, economy, and the design aspect of it are led toward the northwestern part of the city. Maslak axis today of Istanbul is main, one of the main axes to be developed as a commercial center of the city. This scheme again summarizes what we have been talking about so far, that the northern part has to be maintained because the life support system, in a sense, of the city is located there. Water surfaces, forest area, agricultural lands are on the north, so the growth should be in a linear fashion in the southern part. So this three plan I'll show you, 1980, 95, and 2005 plans. These are the list of their aim and strategies. I'm not going to read all of them. You can have them in the paper. 5 dakikam var. Teşekkür ederim. As I said, in the previous plans, the attitudes were very descriptive, using the general trend and allocating those trends in the space, hypothetically. But today, it needs really operational concept in order to achieve the objectives. But this needs a proper political climate and proper management skills on the part of the city. If you look at the general trend in the world and in Turkey, that affect the planning and development process, there is this tendency toward making comprehensive planning. And this free market economy environment is also a factor, really, uh, strongly affect the decision-making process of the city. And Istanbul, one of the cities today in the world that is being under pressure of this free market economics systems demand, and they are looking after proper places and location for their purposes. So market-driving developments is another factor that really affect the management decisions of the city. On the other hand, there are this trend, as I said earlier, that besides this macro development, there are areas and focuses, because that comes from the strategy of the city, that decentralizing activities on the east and on the west, and this opens an opportunity for the urban projects, and those urban projects are focusing on the city on the project basis or on the area basis. Because of the time, I'm passing faster. And there is a need for strategic planning, as I said. And also, this is the changing nature of the state intervention in the economy is affecting at macro level, the future of the city. So to summarize about what I have been saying, that economical transition is one of the factors that today affect the plan-making concepts and attitude. Social exclusion, especially in Istanbul, is a big issue, big dilemma and duality that cities experience today. The life that are in the vicinity of the city versus the life in the center of the city is contradicting, not only in social terms, but also spatial integration. Of course, globalization is always the factor that really affects the city's future. We began to see the impact of it in Istanbul through iconic architectural projects or competition. Public realm is being ignored, and the private sectors and investments are occupying public realms. Governance, of course, is one of the main political concepts that really should be understood properly, but not only by the local governance, but also the people at large. Also, there is a need for actions by the changing leadership concept, instead of just imposing the ideas. There needs to be strong participatory means. Okay, I have to go faster. I understand Faruk Bey is pushing me. Okay, these are areas that are really affecting not only areas, also projects affecting the future of the cities. These are some examples of them. Kartal Sub-Center Development Project, Avcılar projects, two in the east and west. One is in the center, which is Galata Port area, is another project area that is really affecting not only the future of the city, but also the policy of the city under discussion these days. Okay, maybe I should go faster. The city has a lot of cultural assets, especially in the center. Golden Horn is full of historical remains, which are under very bad condition these days, but potentially to be gained to the city as a cultural center for the sake of publicness of the city. So arsenals areas of the city in Golden Horn is one example of it. Okay, this was second part. Okay, I should be 2 minutes maybe. Okay. Here we see historical peninsula, which was listed as urban cultural heritage by UNESCO in 1985. These are the lists, 9 priority list of Turkey, World Heritage List, in which, as you can see, Istanbul is in the first, in 1985, which was declared, inscribed as World Heritage. And this peninsula, as an entity, urban entity, has a lot of values, historical values, environmental values, and yet it also is under the pressure of this growth that it is attracting migrations to itself. Also, there are pressures on the part of project-based attitude that is affecting the general identity of the area. These are some of the projects under criticism these days. Süleymaniye, Fenerbahçe, Sulukule projects are the ones which are not has public acceptance so far. Just they remained as on the project level. Anyway, but since it was inscribed as the World Heritage by UNESCO, 4 areas in Peninsula, Süleymaniye Mosque and its conservation area, Zeyrek Mosque and conservation area, Archaeological Park area, and Land Vaults area. 4 areas are priority areas to be produced management plan. So in the distance you see the historical peninsula, which is under management plan process these days. And this is Süleymaniye Mosque and its complex, one of the priority area. Zeyrek Mosque and its vicinity is priority area. And Archaeological Park area is third priority area, and the city walls, fourth priority area. I'm not going to go into detail of it because of the short time limitations. I should say this, that this management plan producing has already started, initiated by the protocol with UNESCO and the municipality and the central government. And this mission was given to IMP, which was under the patronage of cultural capital of Istanbul. So this process started. I'm not going to go into detail of how the management plan is structured, etc. But all I can say, to make it short, that this is the areas to be in the priority list of the UNESCO, and we are now working. I'm one of the members of the group working of the management plan of the area, which is due by December 10. So we are on the halfway of it. So these are the structure of management plan process. Within 2 weeks, we are going to make a Arama Konferansı, the workshop, first workshop and second workshop, and after that, this is going to be. All these are, as this Mrs. presentation this morning from UNESCO, that participation aspect of this management plan is very crucial and very important, and we are giving special attention to that issues, that all the shareholders, partners are invited to the discussion, occasional workshops, and the management plan is gradually being completed. Okay, thank you very much.
Уважаемые коллеги, тема моего доклада – город Башкорт, V-XVI веков, столица средневекового Башкортостана. Настоящий доклад посвящен ознакомлению участников настоящего высокого научного форума предварительными итогами изучения памятников монументальной архитектуры V-XVI веков, отождествляемых с городом Башкорт, упоминаемым в трудах арабских авторов XIV Ибн Халдун, европейских авторов XIV-XVI веков. На карте европейца Меркатора 1554 года город Башкорт помещен в устье реки Уфы, то есть на территории современного города Уфы, столицы Башкортостана. Город Уфа расположен в предгорьях Уральских гор на границе Европы-Азии, 600 километрах к востоку от Казани и примерно 2000 километров к северу от Ташкента. На рисунке, да. Значительную территорию Башкортостана занимают горы, но она богата лесами, степями, полноводными реками. Недра земли изобилуют различными металлами, прежде всего медью, железом, золотом. Арабские авторы 9-12 веков в стране Башкир подробно описали еще 5 крупных городов. Но город Башкорт пока первый из числа известных тогдашних башкирских городов. Город Башкорт – это комплекс, город Башкорт – это комплекс одновременных археологических памятников, куда входит 7 городищ, обведены. Нет. 7 городищ, крепостей, более 10 больших открытых поселений, аулов и многочисленных некрополей, состоящих в основном из земляных курганов. Эти памятники расположены компактно на расстоянии от 350 метров друг от друга, от 350 метров до 1,5-2 километров друг от друга. Вот как раз территория города Башкорт с опорными памятниками. Надо подчеркнуть, вся полоса высокого берега реки Белой в свое время была занята тысячами курганов, которые по мере расширения города Уфы, прежде всего русского города, основанного в 1574 году, остались под жилыми и хозяйственными постройками, уличными покрытиями, а многие разрушены в ходе различных земляных строительных работ. Здесь нажимайте. Хорошо. В науке известны сотни случаев обнаружения в этих курганах множества ценных предметов из золота, серебра, стекла. Состав находок не оставляет сомнений, что в этих богатых курганах прогребена элитная часть населения города Уфы. Считаем уместным некоторые уникальные находки из некрополя города Башкорт представить вашему вниманию. Следующий, да. Это прежде всего золотая византийская монета V века императора Феодосия II. Следующий. И набор золотых украшений, датируемых рубежом 7-8 веков нашей эры. Следующий. Эти находки датируются 7-8 веками нашей эры. Состав показанного на карте комплекса памятников города Башкорт, среди показанных комплексов памятников опорным центральным является городище Уфа-2, имеющее культурное отложение мощностью до и более 4 метров. По этому признаку данный городище самый крупный памятник на всем Южном Уральском регионе. Сохранился топографический план города Уфы 1745 года, где четко обозначены контуры городища Уфа-2. Вот обратите внимание, здесь крепостная стена имеет форму зигзага. И вот на этих выступах, мы полагаем, в свое время находились опорные башни. Да. сохранить, да. Городище Уфа-2, как и другие памятники, расположены в административном центре города Уфы. Основная часть территории занята жилыми, административными, хозяйственными постройками. Это затрудняло начало его научного изучения. В 2009 году руководство республики пошло навстречу требованиям научной общественности и освободило значительную часть памятника от современных объектов, прежде всего городищу Уфа-2. Благодаря этому на городище Уфа-2 в 2006-2009 годах проводились масштабные археологические раскопки, давшие, на наш взгляд, сенсационные результаты. Дальше. Раскопками выявлено, это процесс раскопок в центре города. Тут находились общественные, хозяйственные здания, но они уже к моменту раскопок были значительно освобождены, сохранилось только вот это здание. Выявлена крепостная стена шириной в 11 метров по основанию. Мы полагаем, что крепостная стена состояла из ряда 3-4 рядов бревенчатых срубов, заполненных глиной с дна рва. Вот на материке видны вот эти столбовые ямы, очевидно, от опорных стоянок, то есть опорные стены крепости. Да. Обнаружены в процессе раскопок следы жилищ, прямоугольных, юртообразных, округлых, железо- и медоплавильных печей, большой ювелирной мастерской. Дальше. Мастерской, да. Но самым центральным, безусловно, является вот эта стена, да, в нетронутом виде, сохранившаяся. Да. Отличительные особенности сооружения, монументальной архитектуры сооружения вблизи крепостной стены, это широкое использование жидкой глины о опалубках. Они мощностью от 2-3 сантиметров до 20-30 сантиметров перемежаются кладкой бревен, досок и образуют вот такую нетронутую стену более 3 метров. И как раз вот они сохранили инситу, и это свидетельствует, что данная часть городища осталась нетронутой вплоть до наших дней. Да. Как сенсационное открытие на городище мы считаем открытие монументальных, то есть уличных деревянных дощатых настилов. Да, извините, пожалуйста. Вот остатки ювелирной мастерской, 10 кусков золотой проволоки, это, видимо, сырье для ювелира. Да. Рядом с этими находками найдены вот серебряные позолоченные наконечники ремня, точно датируемые 7-8 веками нашей эры. Поэтому вот этот ремесленный комплекс, безусловно, датируется 7-8 веками нашей эры. Да. Общая длина вот, уличные настилы, да. Ширина этих настилов где-то в среднем 2 метра, общая длина составляет более 50 метров. Это оригинальное, безусловно, архитектурное сооружение. На территории Восточной Европы, Сибири нам неизвестно, за исключением Новгорода. Но Новгород находится далеко на севере России, и поэтому с новгородскими деревянными настилами сравнивать, безусловно, нельзя. Но в то же время удивляет, город Уфа расположен на границе степей, и поэтому вот, использование сооружения уличных настилов, безусловно, оригинальная деталь. Да. Пойдем дальше. Это вот продолжение того же настила, только другой фотоснимок. Да. Находки разнообразны, богаты. Мы часами могли бы показывать, но показываем самые главные находки. Да. Обломок каменной скульптурной фигуры усатого мужчины. Дальше. Серебряные, бронзовые, металлические украшения, в том числе серьга и накладка ремней подвески, датируемые примерно от 6 по 8-9 века нашей эры. Дальше. Набор поясных ремней, поясного ремня 10-11 веков нашей эры. Да. И бытовая керамика. Их много, их разнообразно, но мы пока показываем только один вид посуды. Да. Результаты раскопок на городище Уфа-2 превзошли все наши ожидания. Для объективной оценки накопленных материалов Академия наук Республики Башкортостан в 2007 году обратилась Российская Академия наук Москва, Академия наук Республики Татарстан командировать в город Уфу на городище Уфа-2 высококвалифицированных специалистов-экспертов. Наша просьба была удовлетворена, и в августе 2007 года авторитетная экспертная группа, приехав в Уфу, внимательно изучила накопленные факты, выявленные объекты монументальной архитектуры и пришла к следующему заключению. Первое. Городище и некрополь есть единый историко-археологический комплекс. Второе. Вскрытые на городище архитектурные археологические объекты относятся к категории монументальных архитектурных памятников эпохи Средневековья. Следующее. Городская оборонительная стена, построена на раннем этапе функционирования городища, возведена по предварительному проекту. Городище является крупным, веками существовавшим административным, торговым, ремесленным центром, одним из крупных узловых пунктов истории Урал-Поволжского региона. И не только Урал-Поволжского региона. Хорошо сохранившиеся строительные материалы из глины, дерева позволяют проследить внутреннюю планировку и благоустройство города. Ко всему сказанному мне остается добавить следующее. В 1557 году Башкортостан вошел в состав русского государства. В 1574 году первые русские переселенцы в 300 метрах от цитадели города Башкорт, городище Уфа-2, построили крепость деревянную, назвали крепость Уфа, и с этого года официальная история города Уфы начинается именно 1574 года. Однако, согласно русским письменным источникам 16-18 веков, на территории города Уфы существовал большой башкирский город, и в нем находились резиденции башкирских ханов. Нам известно имя последнего башкирского хана, Турахана, погибшего в самом начале 16 века в ходе военного конфликта с нагаями. После этого события город Уфа до 1557 года становится резиденцией нагайских наместников, то есть город выполнял свои столичные функции. Уважаемые коллеги, город Башкорт – первый из числа множества средневековых городов на Урале, упомянутых в арабских источниках X-XII веков. Он нуждается в общественном признании, дальнейшем сохранении, и в этом плане, я надеюсь, мнение мировой научной общественности нам окажет большую пользу. Благодарю вас за внимание.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Niyaz Masjidov. I think he mentioned about Ufa City archaeological conservation. The last speaker is Zundayin Oyunblank, Miss Zundayin Oyunblank. She is senior officer in charge cultural heritage and museum at the Ministry of Education. Okay, you have 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. First, I would you like say thank you very much to invite me this Istanbul Conference. I'm from Mongolia. I talk about very ancient nomadic culture. Okay, it might be interesting for people with the permanent settlements and people living in the apartment building to hear about Mongol dwelling field gear. we consider field gears is not only a symbol dealing with efficient designs, but also one of the contribution of nomadics to the human civilization. You see here history of gear. The territory of Mongolia was inhabited by the ancestor from 700,000 years ago. The first model of traditional dwelling come from 4,500 years ago. Yes, the rock paintings which the Mongol gear were found in the many places of Mongol territory. You can see they have some example from rock paintings in some tomb. There's design of gear. Okay. The excavated tombs from the period of Hunnu, Uyghur, Khitan, and Great Mongol tombs were buried under the ground on the architectural form of gear. The researchers note that gear belongs of the burial once we sum as the modern time male and female beings. Moreover, the rules of arranging space in gear were same. The palace arrangements are all preserved and followed customs of modern Mongolian nomads. Yes, they have we usually plaster the parts gear, the three part, the center and right, left, and entrance. The woman occupies the eastern section. The male is right section. At center, the valuable objects and relations after they keep it in house. The Homer, it is opposite of the. The Mongolian gear has influenced to future development of Mongolian traditional architecture. Okay. The gear is the people have never used completely new kinds of gear. The gear is with lattice walls, which had been used by Mongolian ethnic groups, have experienced many stages of evolution from simple whole to modern Mongolian gear. Cut gear was widely used during the time of Great Mongol Empire. The gear became different from the ancient prototype in 16th and 19th centuries. You can see the two kinds of gear. This gear is bottom of the pictures. This very big gear. They have diameter. It is 20 meters. The size and shapes and structure depending of the wall. If the simple gear wall is 4 walls and big, then 12 and 20, 24 and grounds. The Mongolian style building, they influenced to Mongolian architecture. They used wooden structure. The Mongolian gate consisted of 3 parts: wooden parts and covered rope and strings. They have the wooden parts included this like tone is like window, a rafter and wall, and door is pillar is included wooden parts. The cover rope is say roof, and cover is the wall torg, and cover for tone is urch name is. They made by field. Before they circled the walls to pillar and like windows, big items that should be brought inside. The patterns and decoration of the Mongol gear have been is tradition since ancient times. The Mongol craftsmen traditionally used the methods like pattern several layer colors, shadowing and cover, and use rainbow color and contrasting the patterns of the gear structure and furniture. The old time, when there were no watches, the Mongol nomads can tell the precise time of day by observing the angle of the sunlight in the gear. The structure of Mongol gear and its components are strictly coherent with solar time, and the gear structure that adjusted to solar time shuttle the 4 walls gear. The development of Mongolian traditional urban planning is hure. Hure is means is in circle. The ancient time, the middle of the hure, the more important person living in middle of center, on center, then surrounded the some gear or queens, then surround around some cattle. The monastery, the 16 or 17, 18th centuries, the monastery, they planning like according to hure. The center of the hure must build the monastery, then surround the some apartments of monks, then around just craftsmen and people, simple people. At the bottom side, in the like the Mongolian ancient capital Hure, Hure name is Hure. This plan, urban plan, is like the traditional used the traditional Hure plan. The urban plan of Ulaanbaatar now seem like according to ancient traditional Hure planning. I used all the Mongol square facing doors to south side. The center of city, they have Parliament House. The facade facade is direct to south, and south side all the open. This is traditional plan from ancient time. This city developed plan Ulaanbaatar is modern. Now the Mongol get used to the different parts of the country. Some city suburbs of city. Then countryside use the nomads people using it. Also, the modern time many they using it for tourist camp. The Mongolia has submitted nomination proposal for Mongolian as handicrafts to representative list for intangible cultural heritage of humanities is important action taken to preserve Mongolian and related customs. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very fastly.
Thank you very much. And this session is finished. And I think 21st century will be two main words. One of them innovation, the other one heritage. Therefore, we have to manage both. And lastly, I want to thank to Mr. Tatsuo preparing this conference and inviting for us. Thank you very much. Is there any break?
Now I'm happy because I can give you short coffee break. Please come back to here at 5 o'clock, please. Project from Beijing, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Yes.
And this is the debate session, says, but no scenario here. And as one of the organizer of this conference, may I have some kind of the chairship? But firstly, maybe Professor Daijian I would like you to say some kind of the impression of this whole conference. Conference covers many wide range the issues from each of the examples and also some kind of the techniques or some ideas and many things. But please say something about your personal. No, Daijian. Please say your personal impression first. Anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, appreciate organizer to invite me to be here. And my English is not good; it's poor. So it's a hard task for me. I want to do my best. I want to talk about the summer impression. Firstly, I want to talk about the city. Once I'm being here, this city, I have been conquered by this charming city. They are so plentiful heritage and so rich the architecture style and so beautiful landscape. Special mention the natural environment. In China, usually foreign people dreamed to live in the city in where there are the mountain or the river. But in this city, there are both of them. So make our people envy, I think. So I look forward to in the coming days to come again. Next impression is about this conference. I have get thoroughly reach the information from this conference, not only in idea, and but also in the policy and ways. In fact, in China, especially in Beijing, I come from the Beijing University of Technology. The Beijing means face the same controversial choice or challenge. As you know, the Beijing city, the modern city, had just built up in the old city site. So have to face the city expand, and I want to say it's very controversial situation. The governor or citizen want to promote the the economy to grow, repeat growth, but the growth was the attract much more people, and the population repeat growth. World to need much more the natural resource such as the water and land. But this land, the need for the resource world to put the pressure on the city, the old city conservation. So in this conference, the experts offered many experience and knowledge. I get so much, and this give me so much. And back home, I want to conclude this and to our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dijan. May I have just short question to you? Okay, I think in case of Japan too, for example, Japan had the Tokyo Olympic in 1964, and the Osaka Exposition was 1970s. During that time was the economic growth is Japan also facing more than 10% GDP growth we had. And we lost a lot of the traditional and also cultural heritage during that kind of the economic growth. So sometimes the people, like the very critical people, says the economic growth is the biggest destroyer of cultural heritage. So such kind of the debate is common in China or in Beijing. How about that?
In recent years, especially in the Olympic game, before our game, we do many things to construct this city. Achievement, make a great achievement, but I think something isn't sustainable. We want to find a way, especially in the keep the resources, such as water. For water, as you know, water for Beijing is very important. As to know, we still find a way to solve this problem. We can't control the population growth. If the economy grows, the population world grows. So up to now, it's very very important very solve the problem.
I
We
see.
can't find a way.
I see.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the biggest issue. It is still not so much we had discussed about in this conference is the how well the economic speed can harmonize with the cultural restoration, cultural preservation. Sometimes it's very, very controversial,
Yes.
but we have to find some way to harmonize with some economic growth
And,
together with the cultural preservation and the respect for the cultural heritage.
Yes.
It's a good point, I think. Yeah, thank you very much. And let me do some more other topics because I have a little small, short presentation. Probably you understand this. The conference name is the title is the Euro-Asian Corridor. So the final session. I think I want to remind you again, more long range, long history of the human civilization. These are a collection of national treasure, kept in Shoso in Nara. City of Nara in Japan is now celebrating 1300 years. Anniversary here, but probably as you know, for example, that mask or some musical instruments or even glass or some mirror there, those are not original design of Japan. Those masks or glasses or even the musical instruments or glass or even some kind of pictures are brought from Eurasia, some of them from Persia, or some of them from China, maybe some of them from, I don't know about, from Turkey or Russia and so on, Eurasian continent. So mainly in 8th century, very, very long ago. So it shows how well Silk Road worked and how advanced those areas were. I think we should remind again, the area was the center of our world. So my presentation here is the title is I tentatively say the Beyond Space and Time. Central Eurasia was the pivotal places of human activities during the Great Civilization era. As you know, the network of trade for gold and silver, glass, perfume, medicine, leather, or tea, or many other, and silk, and others had made rich there here in the Central Eurasia for more than 1,000 years. There must be the pivotal places of human activities surrounded by the Yellow River civilization and Indus civilization and Mesopotamia civilization and Egypt civilizations. So during that great civilization ages, East Asia and Western Europe were remote and fringe places. Because they were not in the central wide variety of technology and culture, as I show you, that kind of crafts also flow into there through the network and made people creative. Those kind of the imported crafts and many other culture, not only the goods, but also some religious thought and many things they change Japanese ideas a lot. And then after the age of great voyages in the Western Europe took the hegemony of power. Great Britain or Portugal or Spain or Dutch. People go around the world, and sometimes they monopolize and they occupy the other nations as a colony. And after the great age of great voyages, and also the industrialization started almost 300 years ago, Western Europe and North America and Japan started their development. Currently, China and India is now going forward with making the advantage by surrounding by the sea. Because the transportation ways during that great civilization was the horses. Horses was the way for transportation, and the limited things is the only can transport. But ships and boats can brought a lot of the minerals and also the manufactured goods and so on. So our circumstances of the world with great change, and then also the Western Europe make the many ideas like financial systems or other economic systems and resources and the many manufactured goods trade. But nowadays, today we have a great innovation of the aircrafts and the telecommunication. That's why we are here, and also we have connected each other simultaneously. Even in the tribal people on the Eurasian continent have a mobile phone and also the computer network. So we can communicate to each other, and then capital, technology, culture, information go any place which have potentials. So Eurasian corridor has the strong possibility which becomes the front of the world by welcoming diversity of the culture. That used to be transported by horse and used to be, and then Western nations, especially Western Europe, has the advantage for trade and so on. But now, because of the age of the telecommunication, so those huge continent has no limit, no regulate of the beyond the space and time. So, and in order to make it creative city network, I think talent, technology, and tolerance are crucially needed, I think. So that's my idea is, but before ending, I think we should remind us again, Eurasia network is much more than complex and much more wider. As we had in this conference from some good example from Japan and Korea and Russia and even in the southern Vietnam or many other, and also of course Istanbul and also the southern Russia or even in Bucharest or Romania or Paris and so on. So I think probably network made on the Eurasian continent is probably much more complex and much more well advanced than we know, I think probably. And finally, in my presentation, as I told, Irkutsk is now on the list of the UNESCO cultural heritage, but they want some kind of supporters to nominate into the heritage city. So, do you agree to support? You become the supporter for the city of Irkutsk? Okay. Yes. Sure. Yes. Please. I think we are welcome to support city of the Irkutsk in the next stage. We will be probably happy to get the status of the UNESCO Cultural Heritage City. Thank you.
Please don't be afraid. I will not make a speech. Only I want to thank you, the organizer of this occasion, in the name of my university and my faculty, Bahçeşehir. I know that this debate on, as indicated in the poster, urban growth and conservation will continue and will make too many occasions like this. Thank you. By this occasion, I have the opportunity to announce another occasion designed by our faculty at a Japanese university, Mukogawa Women's College. It is an EACU, International Association of Silk Road Universities. It is a good opportunity for us to introduce this international conference, which will be taken next year in spring, and we'll try to announce and inform all of you by taking your addresses from Yamamoto, and we all cordially invite you to become here in Istanbul. This is, in fact, not a conservation. This is not on conservation subject, but all architectural related subjects. It is architectural translations through the Silk Road. I think this will be an opportunity. Together with this occasion, we have to get together. We have to get to know each other better. Therefore, we can understand our problems and we can solve our problems. Because this debate, again, as I repeat, will continue on. Although there are too many problems talked about today, different approaches are discussed and presented here, but the main aspect for the sustainable future, or in other words, for a humanized environments, we have to take some precautions for the future generations. Thank you again for my university and for my faculty, and we invite you again. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So, first of all, I have to manage. Sorry, I have to close this very interesting announcement, and I congratulate with the Dean of the Bahçeşehir University. And now, that's it. Okay. First of all, it's my pleasure. I am Simone Giometti, the Secretary General of the Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation, Florence, Italy. And I would like, first of all, to express our deep gratitude to the Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, Bahçeşehir, sorry for my bad pronunciation, University for hosting and the conference, and of course all the organizational staff of this very interesting conference. First of all, Professor Riki Miyake Sensei, thank you again for having invited me. I also referred the greetings and the best wishes of the president of the Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation, Mr. Paolo Del Bianco. Unfortunately, he couldn't attend this conference for some health reason, but nevertheless, he charged me, it is a pleasant charge, to greet everybody. So I will introduce a general overview of the activity of our foundation, which is an experience of over 15 years, just to allow you to have a general idea of the kind of activity and the philosophy which is behind our activity. And okay, just a few words for introducing the Fondazione Romualdo Del Bianco, which is a no-profit Florentine institution endorsing an array of cultural and educational initiatives in order to favor intercultural dialogue. And I am really glad to take part in this conference, which with many papers and reports from the Far East to the Europe. This is a very interesting moment and for mutual learning. And we have synthesized our experience through a philosophical approach that we recently named Life Beyond Tourism for intercultural dialogue. And my speech is divided into three parts, which just have a general historical overview of the activity of our foundation, from the practice through the theory up to the nowadays best practices in Romualdo Del Bianco Foundation. So in 1991, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, a Florentine hotelier was prompted by the event to seek to forge cultural educational links between people, especially youngsters, from the former Soviet bloc Eastern countries to the Western Europeans one. This initially sporadic activity firmed up over time to the point and led to the foundation of the Fondazione Romualdo Del Bianco. The Fondazione began its activity by promoting weekly workshops where groups of university students and tutors from at least 4 or 5 countries were hosted in Florence, a World Heritage Site. The themes addressed, which are worked out by the Fondazione and the academic staff organizing the workshop beforehand, includes topics related to the urban design, history, architecture, restoration and design, and also other subjects, all connected with the cultural heritage anyway. When the youngsters arrive in Florence, they are split into international working teams into accordance with the Fondazione motto, international encounters without competition within the framework of respect for individual identity, discovering the past together, building a common future. Up to date, some figures just to have an idea of our activity. To date, the Fondazione has involved over 400 universities and institutions from 16 countries over 5 continents. To date, we have hosted over 70,000 man-days of international encounters without competition and within a framework of respect for an individual identity. These are some short photos of workshops that we are organizing, that we are continuing to organize, as example in history of architecture, or in urban planning, fashion. This is also I have pleased to meet several friends from Tsinghua University. We also was honored to host a group headed by Professor Zhou Rong, if I'm not wrong. Other workshop, all involving students from different countries, just to spurring in them the attitude to the dialogue and mutual learning. In the process of building up this experience, it began to dawn on us how the cultural heritage of a destination, in this case Florence, but it could be elsewhere, was a factor in stimulating people's interest in international encounters, exchange of knowledge, and intercultural dialogue. This realization saw in our minds the seeds of a theory which we have christened Life Beyond Tourism for intercultural dialogue. the second part of my presentation. On 26th of May 2006, the Fondazione was invited to illustrate its activities in the first conference of the ICOMOS International Committee on Theory and Philosophy of Conservation and Restoration in Krakow, Poland. The committee was founded during the 15th General Assembly of ICOMOS in Xi'an, and I was delighted to meet a speaker who talked about it yesterday. Our theory, which would be more appropriate to call an approach, was taken on board by the following 16 ICOMOS General Assembly in the course of the symposium in Quebec, Canada on 1st October 2008. Since then, there have been numerous official presentations and opportunities for perfecting the approach, but the constant factor that tends to resurface on every occasion is the absolutely crucial need for intercultural dialogue in a world that is rushing on headlong toward globalization, as well as the potential role that the cultural heritage can play in that regard. We have drawn up a sort of manifesto, and I will explain you in the following slides. This is a short introduction of the manifesto named Life Beyond Tourism for Intercultural Dialogue. Life Beyond Tourism approach would like to contribute to the dissemination and recognition of such universal values as cultural diversity, traditional knowledge, and respect and harmony among people, turning the experience of the visitors, travelers, by simplifying tourists, into a unique opportunity for knowledge and for the promotion of the intercultural dialogue. Life Beyond Tourism approach would like to promote familiarization with the spirit of a place, its past, its present, and its future prospect. Life Beyond Tourism approach would like to offer a new vision of tourism, including mass tourism, designed to highlight its strategic nature than its consumer driver aspects. In order to promote intercultural dialogue, to foster awareness and the familiarity with cultural diversity and traditional knowledge, to safeguard the spirit of place, to communicate spirit of place imbued with new life. Life Beyond Tourism approach would like to see the ethos of commitment to foster intercultural dialogue become part and parcel of our intangible cultural heritage. With Life Beyond Tourism, tourist destinations, especially those included in the UNESCO World Heritage List, can play a role as a workshop contributing to the intercultural dialogue, cooperation, and shared cultural growth and enrichment of all the visitors of that place. This is the manifesto of our philosophical approach to the cultural heritage. It is in 8 points. Tourism is a crucial source of prosperity. Tourism provides an opportunity for getting to know spirit of place, cultural diversity, traditional knowledge. Tourism in its various forms goes way beyond a mere satisfying of personal needs. People working in the tourist industry foster awareness of the spirit of place and intercultural dialogue. The tourist traveler is a potential harbinger of knowledge and of intercultural dialogue. The tourist destination is a workshop of knowledge, providing all visitors with an opportunity for personal growth. Workshop for knowledge trigger a demand for increasing high-quality products, not only in consumer services, but also, and above all, in value-related terms. Architectural, urban, and environmental planning and management need to foster traditional knowledge and intercultural dialogue. The Fondazione's manifesto highlights in its 8 points the importance of the Life Beyond Tourism approach in urban development and heritage conservation in the third millennium for favoring the intercultural dialogue. Now we arrive at what we call best practices. So how the foundation try to translate in operative terms this philosophical approach. But first of all, the main stone is always that intercultural dialogue in order first and foremost to instill respect for diversity of cultural expression and traditional knowledge, subsequently propelling that respect on into the daily life with which we all identify. Under this frame, Life Beyond Tourism for Intercultural Dialogue, the Foundation has developed three main areas of actions. And you can see, due to the lack of time, I will just only give you an overview. The first part of the activity of the Foundation is devoted to young generation, just with programs for undergraduates, postgraduates. Another part is devoted to the professor with the promotion of international conferences. The third part is devoted to the protection of the tangible heritage with some particular programs. You will find everything in our website. I just would like to point out some particular important area. First of all, of activity. The workshop with young university students, graduates and postgraduates. Our new program 2010-2011 is just issued that include 24 weekly workshops in several areas, urban planning, architecture, conservation, and so on. But also international conference with scholars and experts. As example, I mention only one of the, we are working on is Cupola in the World, a conference scheduled to be held in Florence in November 2011, and with a simultaneous translation into 5 languages, including Arabic and Russian, and due to the increasing number of applications by Turkey, we are just only thinking about include also Turkish language. Photoblogs, which are aimed to explore the image that young people all over the world have for world heritage, the concept of world heritage, cultural diversity, intercultural dialogue, and traditional knowledge. Another important branch of our activity is a program promoting the organization of 90 days of seminars on intercultural dialogue in Florence over a 3-year period. All the universities of our network have been invited to present their proposal. The initiatives that we plan to develop over 3 years will be summed up upon 90 papers, one from each conference, will become 90 contributions to the 4th International Cultural Forum scheduled to be held in Napoli in 2013. The first of the 90 seminar program took place on May 12, 2010, with the official communication of the establishment in Florence of the International Tradition Knowledge Institute. That institute, under the aegis of UNESCO, is aimed to preserve the traditional techniques of protection and conservation of the environment and the heritage, as well as to spread their knowledge. The Fondazione has contributed as promoter and founder member of the UNESCO-inspired International Traditional Knowledge Institute. A 40-minute video conference with the UNESCO Vice President Francesco Bandarin kicked off the cycle of seminar. Other annual meetings we are promoting in the frame of the program 90 Days of International Intercultural Dialogue. And as example, the annual meeting of the International Scientific Committee of Theory and Philosophy on Conservation and Restoration, which is one of the International Scientific Committee of ICOMOS. And another one is on mural painting. And many other initiatives that I invite you to see in our website. Thus, and I'm going to conclude, through the Life Beyond Tourism, we target human relationship value in the provision of service in an attempt to allow people to rediscover the pleasure of acquaintance with the spirit of the place, its tradition and culture, and meeting people from different countries. All of these initiatives are designed to foster opportunity for encounters of different themes, to stimulate mutual exchanging of knowledge and acquaintance, and a sense of respect for diversity, in hope of facilitating mutual understanding over the time. The idea is to make conventional hit-and-run tourism less attractive in order to protect cities such as Florence from falling victims of tourism instead of thriving on it and managing it. Thus, Life Beyond Tourism endeavors to enrich human relationship in the context of a new vision of the relationship between a place, its population, and the traveler, to replace the concept of a customer with a vision of a guest in a venue that is visiting to learn about its cultural or natural heritage. By the same token, every missed opportunity to promote acquaintance with the genius loci in terms both of its tangible and intangible heritage and of its daily life and culture, it is a wasted opportunity for acquainting the guest with his destination through nature, lurking behind his superficial facade. This central role that the destination tourist industry as a whole should assign to the value of hospitality, thus to the value-based tourism, is the key contributing to intercultural dialogue in this global condominium of ours, as it rapidly heads toward the figure of 10 billion tenants. If this happens, tourism can become a powerful distribution chain for intercultural dialogue. Just a very simple equation. Heritage plus tourism based on value is equal to, in our overview, to intercultural dialogue. Or to put in another way, we would move on from a perverse ratio, which we might symbolize as following consumerism over tourism equals selfishness, the human environment, to a virtuous ratio symbolized as values on tourism is equal to knowledge and respect over the human environment. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the new dimension of World Heritage. World Heritage for intercultural dialogue. This is just a symbol of our, we have started from the Fondazione activity which was dedicated to the cultural rapprochement since 1991, and now we are trying to develop this and to make this flower growing, a flower made by petals which are encounters, communication, knowledge, conservation, and of course also economy. This is the flower of a life beyond tourism, and which move our activity. Thank you very much for your attention.
Just I have a question. Your foundation has very nice works, but is Asia's our symposium or your foundation, your on your calendar is future.
Yeah.
Please.
So, okay, sorry.
Asia's our symposium.
Yeah.
On your calendar is next year or another year is a future.
Yeah, we have received the proposal and by Professor Miyake, and now we will see and discuss which is the best terms and condition to realize it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to invite Miyake Sensei.
This is practical information. Thank you very much, Mr. Giometti. We are exploring the chance for next year to have another conference in Firenze. But before that, we have to finalize this symposium. We have to make a report, a book, publication. So I hope, or I would like to ask all the participants to prepare the text, papers based on your presentations. Many of you have already finished it, but still I have to ask to all of you to complete your paper based on this conference. And the limit of the words is 3,000 words with several images. And the date limit is very early because we have French guests, so we have to finish it before 14 Juillet, before the French National Ceremony Day. So that means that is the 14th, but the Monday is July 12th, in the end, the date limit of the full text, the paper. Anyway, so I will send to all the participants by email the precise notice about this publication program. So please notice again, note in your calendar that you have to finish all the text before the beginning of July. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I wanted to invite you to me by myself now. Where is Yamamoto? Yes, I am last speaker. Our dear guest, you have taught us many things about this urban architecture and life, and we identify our range. I know everybody is very tired, because I know I am tired too. But please bear with it for 5, maybe 10 minutes more. I am the last speaker. However, I wanted to talk about something as one of these symposium organizers. I should have explained this when we first started. Every problem that the speakers had mentioned it in the last 2 days is present in Istanbul. I wanted to sum them up into 4 headings. Every problem, first of all, historical heritage problem. How can we make a new layout without giving any harm to old buildings, but also create a new lifestyle? Second, East meets West, because Istanbul is their meeting point. The city doesn't have its own city identity. Third, this city has very rich nature. Surrounded to the Black Sea and the Marmara Sea and green areas such as the parks and the forest. As the years go by, we are losing this great value too. I'm very sorry. Fourth, last. The last one is the immigration problem. When birds immigrate, they are pleasant to watch. But when people immigrate, this view isn't very pleasant, as you cannot imagine. Yeah. And at the same time, beginning one of the oldest trading centers on the earth, Istanbul is a great place to live in, which attracted to immigrants very much. By the reason, every year about 350,000 people more than to this beautiful city, Istanbul. Now Istanbul is bigger than Greece and some other countries. Oh my God. How to do? For Istanbul, for people, for us. We must thinking. Yes, I am architect. So instead of the making campaigns, we have to find it solutions. For the very reason, Tago Architects, my company, and I have worked very hard and tired some things. I'm going to explain them as soon as possible. First, I tried to make minimum space to live. The construction site sold out. Our investors were very happy, but as an architect, I think this is not a satisfying solution. Okay, second. So I continued writing and come up with the living in high-rise building solution. I try construction site. This is also sold out. But I don't think it's enough to solve the main problem. Those two are good projects, but we mustn't forget the rich nature too. We tried to green building, which is a very fashionable concept. They are on sale. Do you want to buy some flats? And now we tried to use a very unique design method for our project in Dragos. First, I visited the site and imagine how a person lives his or her life, and tried to model a lifestyle. And during this time, I realized that our living space are very small. And I understand that instead of the interior designs, the common place were more important because people spend most of their times in common space. Of course, sometimes we taking the reference of the historical area. For example, Isfahan and another Samarkand, Tashkent, etc. And we improved it, our idea bit by bit. We can talk and discuss and negotiate it with landowners. You know, this project about it 1 million square meter project. There's about it 50 landowners. Now I negotiated each landowner one by one. This is very hard work, but I tried to continue to design because I liked Istanbul. I wanted to nice space to live. And I can talk longer about this project, but I'm sorry. I know we don't have many time now. I will explain it another time. I'm sorry. After attending to some conference in Europe, I called my teacher, and asked him if you know the other good method and concept for my beautiful city, Istanbul. He answered, we invited you. Can you see your name? Thank you very much. And I called some friends to open this symposium. Thank you so much. And special thanks to groups and my family. Because they support me till the end. And as you know, our symposium has an official web page, urbanarch.org. Everybody, please note that. There will be a platform of post-symposium discussion there, okay? So that's it. Now, we wanted to take a photograph all together. Please come on stage. Thank you very much.